Hello, everybody. We are here for another author interview for the Space Wizard Year 5 campaign. We've got 8 new books this year. It is our 5th anniversary, and we have some great stuff along with a third book in a series. And I'll let you introduce it.
Hi, I'm Alex Kingsley. I'm the author of the Bastion Cycle, starting with Empress of Dust. Relic of Haven came out last year, and now this year, the third and final installment in the trilogy, Promise of Manifest, is coming out November 17th.
Yep. And if you've watched our interviews before, or been the last campaigns, you've seen me talk with Alex before. Always a lot of fun. They do a lot of different stuff, so we have a lot of fun things we can explore. So I guess give us, without spoilers, a few hints about this one. What's coming up? What we can see? Is this going to be the end of the series? All that sort of stuff.
Yes. So to go back to the first one, we have the overarching concept of this series is the world has become crab. Everything's been taken over by the desert walkers, these giant crustaceous creatures, and there's only one human city left. And then, of course, our protagonist, Harvard, gets stuck out in the desert, befriends the creatures and starts to realize, oh, there's like more to this society, and starts to question a lot of the human exceptionalism that has been baked into their last bastion of humanity. And then in the second book, again, not to give too much away for those who maybe haven't read it yet, but we realize there are alternatives to this final city, that this final city is maybe not the final city after all, because there is another city that is structured very differently, where the people have very different beliefs, where the environment and the wildlife is very different. So our characters have to then reckon with that sort of existential crisis of, okay, we were taught that this was the only thing, and now it's not.
Mhm.
So, in keeping with that, again, without giving too much away, the third book is about a third city. We have a new city that is, again, very different from the first two, and we are reckoning with, okay, what does it mean to intentionally construct a city and a society, and what kinds of things can be baked in to the concept of a city from the beginning? What kind of things can be harmful? What kind of things can be helpful? What kind of things do you want your leaders to be thinking about when they are building a society with intention, building an intentional community?
Yeah.
And then, of course, that is also folded in with more conversations about creatures, about monstrosity, about humanity. We're getting into a lot of sort of post-human stuff because the lines between human and inhuman are starting to become pretty blurred. And that is also a huge part, and this will be the last thing I say about the third one. A huge part of the development of a new city is, what if this was a city that was not built for humans as they currently are? What if it was built for the next generation of humans that looked biologically different?
Very interesting. And if you've read the second book, you'll probably understand some hints about that and where that's
Yeah.
going. And I will say, and yes, I want you to show off the binder because I
Yes.
we were talking before this interview, and this is the current state of the book. So
You can see my little editing bookmark, and it's a little thick right now, covered with my sticky notes, but it's happening.
yes, hopefully by the time this is posted, I will probably have the version of this to do the developmental edit, and then we'll get this out to you by November. But especially, I guess if you've watched these interviews before, you know I've talked about editing and things like this. I do developmental editing for Space Wizard for all the books, so I love reading them and getting to see the stories. But also that's generally our usual timeline for us. So don't worry about this book getting to you, even though it's a binder right now. It will actually be a book by November.
You will not be receiving a binder.
No, it's the special edition binder version. Um, yeah, so I hopefully we will have some concept of the cover by the time I post this. If we do, I will post it below so you can see the beautiful artwork for this. Right now I have a placeholder, which is actually one of the art pieces from the first book. So I guess the next question, are we going to have more art for this one?
We certainly should. There's more fun creatures that I'm really excited to see artistic representations of. I'm still figuring out exactly how I want to go about that, just because Inez, who is the fantastic illustrator who did the illustrations of the first two books, has gotten very busy, which is awesome because it means she's super successful.
Mhm.
Uh, but it also means that we may have a different illustrator. We'll see.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's more creature. So I'm excited for people to be able to see that.
Yeah. And I guess other if you're familiar with the series, we also have the RPG based on the series, which has even more art in it and has all the descriptions of the creatures. And if you haven't picked that up, definitely go check it out if you like to play TTRPGs. You can inhabit the world of Bastion.
Can I also talk about the novella?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
allowed? Okay, cool.
Let's talk about
Uh,
that.
so once the third one is out, we're going to do an omnibus edition that has all of them, and that will also include an exclusive novella that takes place in between books one and two.
Yeah.
So there's also, you were asking, is there going to be more to this series? So I'm
Mhm.
like, yes, but it's in the middle.
Yeah.
That is called Paper Shell Days.
Cool. I hadn't heard the name yet, so first you're hearing it first here. Um, but great. Yeah, I actually wanted to say that's one of the things I love to do with Space Wizard. We actually have a few new anthologies with this campaign, so check it out, and we will have a couple options. This omnibus will probably be in either our December or next June campaign, just so it doesn't come out at the same time as the book. So you get to enjoy the books first, and then we'll have the special edition with the special extra stories in it. So keep an eye out for that. That will be coming probably in December. We'll see. Um, and then we may have some extra art for that, probably different art for the cover for that one as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So if you like those omnibuses, those hardcovers, we have some stretch goals in this campaign that are coming up. So make sure that we can hit those, and then we can get all these great omnibuses for you. So yeah, so I guess with the addition of the novella, this is sort of the end of this story, I guess. Um, do you have anything else that's coming up or any other ideas?
I always have so many things going on at once. This it is probably going to be the end of this story. As always, I kind of know in my brain what happens after any given story ends. So like if I return to this world and these characters, it'll be in the future for me and also in the future for them. I know
Yeah,
like what happens 10 years later.
right.
Uh, will that ever be out in the world? Who knows? But in terms of what is going to be out in the world, I have a lot of things that are in that kind of limbo space where I can't talk about them yet. One of them is high fantasy.
Mhm.
One of them is space opera.
Nice.
And then I have one that I am currently working on. So this is not in the like it's out there, but it's secret phase. It's just I'm developing it. Uh, that is a little bit new weird
Mhm.
inspired, a little bit I'm pitching it as House of Leaves, but with the aesthetics of Severance.
Hmm. Okay. Sounds interesting.
So that is what I am currently working on, as well as a fun uh, sci-fi disability novella.
Hmm. Very nice. All right.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully we'll see some of those in the future.
I
Um,
definitely hope so.
yeah. Well, great. And you do other stuff as well along with writing. So, you're working on plays. I think you had released a new one the last time we talked last year. Um, Anything else in the work
Yes.
there?
Yeah, last time we talked, The Suit was about to debut, which is my sci-fi horror play that has seen a few staged readings, which has been really awesome, and seen a lot of development, which is
Great.
great. If you're interested in producing a sci-fi horror play, it is now on NPX, New Play Exchange, for producers to check out. I am also a part of the brand new SIFWA Scriptwriters Committee
Awesome.
because that is as many of you probably know if you are involved or updated on Civ stuff, there is a big movement to try to recognize the non-prose formats that
Hmm.
sci-fi can take, and one of those is stage plays, but also screenwriting doesn't get a ton of recognition, especially like indie screenwriting. Same with audio drama. So the scriptwriters committee folding all of that together and doing its best to do some projects that are going to uplift not only playwrights but all scriptwriters who are working in the speculative field. In fact, if you are going to be at the Nebula conference this year, the scriptwriters committee is running a staged reading of speculative 10-minute plays. So
Great.
that is kind of our first big event.
Yeah.
That is one of the big things that I do. I also do game design, as you all probably know if you know about the TTRPG. Uh, I have two games that will hopefully be coming out this year. These are things I do games generally, like I just put them out myself independently. So they're things that I can talk about.
Yeah.
One of them is called Games for Getting Shit Done, and
Hmm.
it is an intentionally gamified, a book of gamified life tasks to help people with ADHD, because I am one of those people. And I have had to turn a lot of things into games for myself. I am also an executive function coach.
Hmm.
So I have used a lot of what I've learned from that and folded it into this book. And then another one is called Arcane Arcade. And this is a compilation of mini games that you can fold into your tabletop game
Yeah. That sounds cool.
campaigns.
Yeah.
And then I also write nonfiction. I do reviews. I've recently
Hmm.
started reviewing for Strange Horizons. In
Yep.
fact, I have a review of a Space Wizard book coming out soon.
Yep.
So I'm excited for people to read that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
A
that's a lot of what I do. And I'm in grad
little
school,
bit
so
of
I
everything.
also just do like the general academic writing of it
Right.
all.
So not much, just a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I dabble.
Yeah. Um, I guess real quick, if you didn't know, I'm also on the indie author committee for SIFWA. So we have two SIFWA committee members here. There's a lot of indie authors that are involved in SIFWA, and they're making a really nice push to get a lot of indie authors involved in this stuff. So it's great that we have, indie authors, screenwriting, lots of great stuff. All right, well, I'll leave us with this because I didn't mention it yet. Empress of Dust is I think our first award winner for Space Wizard. Got the one for science fiction for last year from sorry, which one was it?
Small
The
spec.
Small Spec, yes, because there was a couple we were in. Small
Yeah.
Spec Book of the Year for science fiction. So it's got a fancy little icon we get on the cover now. So definitely check this one out. We've got Empress of Dust, we've got Relic of Haven, and now we have Promise of Manifest, and then we're going to have a fancy collector's edition later on. So make sure to get your copy in the campaign, and then come back next time. We'll have another fun author interview. All right, that's it for now. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next time.